What's going on, guys? Welcome to Neuro Notes. Today we are talking about making and breaking habits. This is based on Andrew Huberman's latest podcast on habits. So one of the first things I learned was to envision what you're going to do when you want to make a habit. So envision every step, even before the habit, what you're going to do, and envision every step of during the habit, right? So if you're going to work out, let's say you're trying to build a habit of working out every day, you envision what you're going to do beforehand, right? You envision putting your clothes on or whatever, putting your shoes on, you envision the drive there, and then you envision everything that happens during that habit. So, picking up the weights, lifting the weights, stuff like that. And then you also want to envision what happens afterwards. So the feeling that you're going to get afterwards, you're going to feel good that you went to the gym, you're going to feel that pump, stuff like that. So that's the first thing. The second thing, the idea that he brought up is task bracketing. So again, the stuff that happens before and the stuff that happens after, the state that your mind is in is a very important thing. Okay, so you want to think about that when you go into your habits, basically. And the third one is breaking up the day into 3 quarters. Okay, so the first 8 hours of the day basically is where you have the least amount of limbic friction, which basically just means you're more willing to do things that you aren't willing to do normally. The hardest things that are there for you to do, you want to do in the first 8 hours of the day. So that's when you want to build those new habits, the habits that are hard for you to build. You want to try to do that in the first 8 hours of the day. The second 8 hours of the day, you kind of want to, it's more easy to do things that you've already done before. It's harder to build new habits in the second half or the second 8-hour period, roughly. So the key point is that it's not so much of the timing of when you do the things in terms of like 10 o'clock or 12 p.m. or whatever it is. It's more about the phase in the day that you're in, right? So in the first 8 hours of the day, you have more willingness to like attack these new habits that you want to build, probably. So anything that you're having trouble doing, trying to build those habits, you want to do in the first 8 hours of the day. And then obviously the last third of the 8 hours is probably when you're going to be sleeping, hopefully, right? And then when it comes to breaking habits, what you want to do is attach a good habit to the end of whatever bad habit it is. It's not so much as replacing that habit, which a lot of people think, instead of doing that, you try to just be conscious of it. It's more about when you perform that bad habit, immediately right after, try to attach a good habit to it. So let's say I attach, I got to do 10 push-ups every time I touch my phone in the middle of trying to do something else, right? So I'm trying to break the habit of touching my phone, going on Instagram. Every time I go on Instagram, I got to do 20 sit-ups or something like that. Not so much as a punishment, but more of attaching a good habit to that bad habit I don't think he means it as an offset of a balance thing, but it wires the circuits in your brain to do a specific thing when you do those things, and then it can help you dismantle that whole habit by attaching another process to it. And then he brought up the 21-day kind of exercise that you can try to do to build more habits. So you'd pick 4 to 6 habits that you want to build, and try to do them every day for 21 days. But the key points is that you don't punish yourself, you don't overcompensate if you miss a couple days. And you could try to think of it in 2-day intervals, right? So if you miss a day or you miss the second day in your 2-day interval, you're like, okay, we'll reset and we'll try to get the next 2 days down for those 4 to 6 habits. And you're only expecting really to build maybe 3 to 4 out of those 5 to 6 habits that you've chosen. But again, there's no punishment, there's no overcompensation. And then after the 21 days, you just let it go and just see what happens. Let's see if you can maintain those habits or not. Right, and just see if it works, right? And part of the exercise, he said, is to be practicing doing things habitually, right? So it's not so much of the habits themselves, it's getting in the practice of doing habits, being habitual, being kind of routined in the things that you do. So I'm trying to think, let me just take a look at my notes here, but that was most of what we have from my personal notes from what I learned from the podcast. Hopefully for the rest of these episodes, a lot of them probably will be based on Huberman Lab's podcast because I get a lot of value out of them, but other tips and tricks and little things that'll help you improve your life, I think I'll try to make more videos about them. I'm not sure if this is going to be a long series or not, but there are a lot of things that I talk about with my friends or I feel like I'd want to summarize for them, and this is just an easy format to do it in. I really suggest that you check out Huberman Lab's podcast. There's a lot of good tips and like advice on like how to do stuff. Again, obviously he's a professor, so he himself says he's not a doctor, so you would want to talk to your physician. You want to talk to someone who knows about these things. Same with me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not even a professor. I haven't studied any of these things. I am just giving you basically the spark notes of the podcasts and stuff that I've learned. There'll probably be other podcasts that I'll summarize here on this channel in this series. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you want me to watch or summarize anything else for you. Again, these are just my notes. I could totally misinterpret all these things, so don't take these for, gospel, like the truth or anything. Again, I'm just someone who watches some podcasts. So let me know if you like these. Comment, rate, subscribe, like all that stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you want me to touch on anything. And I'll see you guys in the next video.